I know this is your podcast, but I brought with me, I've always been, I was taught as a kid to never show up empty-handed.
Okay.
So on that note, I did bring a bottle of the award-winning Flor de Caña rum.
Yeah.
Which is, have you heard of it?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're off to a good start. I'm not a big rum drinker, so don't ask me anything else besides the fact that it's the national drink of Nicaragua, which is where I'm part Nicaraguan.
Okay.
And so I just, growing up it was always part of family parties and things like that.
Specifically this rum or just rum in general?
Well, rum in general, but I mean, specifically, if you want to stay true to Nicaraguans, Nicaraguans will drink Flor de Caña or Flor de Caña. As when I was at Lawler's yesterday, I was like,
Flor de Caña.
Yeah, they're like, I was like, do you carry Flor de Caña? And I did my whole what do they call it? Code switch. And the guy's like, the Lawler's guy's like, we have Flor de Caña, and I'm like, okay, that works. Yeah,
that's funny.
Like, you didn't need to do the whole the ñ and the roll the R's and all that. Like, it wasn't necessary.
Wait, you were over there at Lawler's?
Yeah, that's where I was surprised that Lawler's had it.
Lawler's got a good liquor selection. Their wine selection is not good, but their liquor selection is really good.
I didn't expect to find. Again, I'm not a big rum guy, so I don't really go. I think that was the first time I've ever bought rum in Napa in the 8 years that I've been here, and so I was ready to show up and call every liquor store to make it a point to show up with it.
Yeah.
But Lawler's, my first phone call, the guy's like, you mean Flor de Caña? I'm like, yeah, we have that. I'm like, oh, cool. You made my
nice.
You made my search very easy. So,
cheers.
Dude, those guys are cheers. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Flor de Caña is a well-known brand out there.
That's the spot that we love, that liquor store. Well, my dad really is a big fan of it because he goes there all the time. He's been going there because it's been around for forever. And he's so funny because he just rolls in. He's got his big rimmed Vietnam hat. And his cane. He'll just stroll in there. And every time we go in there,
is he a vet?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he did two tours in Vietnam.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're really they support the troops, but they've known my dad for a long time, and they just kind of let him do his thing, and he'll just always roll in there. First thing he'll do is kind of just give this wave, and he just heads straight to the back like he works there, because they just know he's got this love for all the free glasses.
Oh,
so growing,
things, do they put things out there all the
because they get
swag that they get and stuff?
Well, because the spirits are big for it. A lot, with wine we'll do it too and stuff like that. But the branded glasses, the giveaway stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So they'll do glasses like this, or shot glasses and stuff, and they'll do their little packages. And they always have this excess glassware and stuff, and he just loves it.
Okay, cool.
Because we have our own bar at home, and I've always noticed, growing up, I never really thought, it all clicked in.
You just have random one
Yeah, it was always these random
Jose
things.
Cuervo and this and that.
He's got statues in his house.
Yeah.
The little ceramic statues of...
Yeah, because they'll do all kinds of stuff. He'll get the lights.
Okay.
He's gotten the neon. He has the neon lights from the liquor stores and stuff like that. He just makes relationships. He's the mayor of
Lawler's.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Of Jefferson and Lincoln.
Yeah.
Of that intersection.
It's that place. So I go there for holiday shopping for Christmas, because it's just
I've heard that they do a really good sale. Apparently,
they got a good sale. They got great selection of shit that you can't find anywhere for whatever reason. It's kind of oddly placed. It's not a high traffic tourism area,
right?
But they've just always had great allocations of some of the highest tier products. If you want to go in there and spend $3,000 on a bottle of whiskey that you can't find anywhere, they've got it.
Yeah.
But they also got all the regular stuff. But I'm dude, how did you guys get there were 100 bottles made, and they're just we sell a lot of their lower price stuff. That's it. That's the way you get in.
I was so impressed the fact that they had that, because the Nicaraguan population in Napa must be minimal. I don't know what the stats on that are, and so I just kind of said it underneath my breath, not expecting him to just point it out. And they have several. So he was oh, you want the cheap stuff, which is the white?
Yeah.
And I was I always just drink in terms of spirits. I only drink white.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just like, and people are like, oh, well, like the good tequilas, like the aged tequila, right? The Reposado or the Añejo. And I'm just like, I don't care if it's more expensive. I don't like it. It's sweeter. And so, yeah, I like what I like. But I did bring you as a gift.
I always tell people,
the better
what you like.
and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
geez, okay.
Yeah.
I have never had this. 18.
So this is 18
years?
aged compared to this
Whoa.
is a this doesn't even have a year. This is probably like right off the sugar cane, I'm assuming. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that is like
Wow.
the age stuff. So you can take that home with you.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I
Hell
actually
yeah.
do like aged rum.
Oh, okay.
It generally, I mean, like, I think that rum really carries the tones of oak really well. Just like, adds to the sweetness and mouthfeel of it and everything. So that's awesome, man. Thank you. I've never had this one.
Oh, good.
I mean,
Okay.
I've had Florida de Caña, but I've never had the 18-year-old.
Okay.
Cool.
There you go. It's aged. Yeah.
We'll
You know a
that
little
lasts
bit about
me.
that. Yeah.
See, yeah, we don't have anything aged 18 years, but on the wine side. But hey, there's always room.
Who
New
knows?
product.
Who knows
Yeah.
what the future holds?
Yeah, just like that's like Porto. There's went to Portugal, and so fortified wine can last much longer because it's got higher alcohol, so you don't like oxidation. All that stuff is kind of paused or greatly slowed down. And we ended up buying. We tried it at a restaurant, it was a really cool experience. Like Portugal is a very, very fun place. But it was like a 225-year-old. Like it was aged in barrel for 225 years. And so I was like, we got to try it. So we like tried a little glass, and then I went and bought. They were selling it in flasks that like I'm talking
wine,
like 200 mLs, like these little tiny like glass tubes,
kind of like the little shooters that you have at liquor stores.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. And
Okay,
so
yeah.
I was like, I got to bring this back to like the winemaking team, and like everybody's got to try this because I've never had any product that's that old. And like in Portugal, they got a ton of history and stuff. So like I brought it back, and I was like, you guys all got to guess the age. Like nobody was even close, but
Yeah.
it was
Wow. What was the closest like?
Oh God,
guess?
it was. It wasn't even 100. Wasn't even 100. No.
Okay.
I just think everybody's like, how do you even like? Do you just forget about that? I mean, Portugal's like never been
Put it in a cave and like never worry about it for.
Yeah, I mean, since the
200
Spanish Inquisition, like they weren't really like involved in any war, so their like inventories and all that shit in barrel never got damaged or potentially destroyed. And so yeah, so one of these old port houses had like just a couple barrels of old stuff.
Cool.
Whether they're being honest with it, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true, right? You could at that point you could just be like, oh, it's 175, 225 for the gringo tourist here. Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
our records show. Wait, cross that out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He looks like he can afford another 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to ask somebody that was there when they made it? I don't think so.
Right. That's very true. Yeah. How did you like Portugal?
I actually really liked it.
Cool.
I mean, seafood is great. It's beautiful. It's like California in a way. Like, you got kind of like mountainous regions, a lot of hills, beautiful ocean. But yeah, the food culture, it was like a chiller version of Spain, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Like and very like there's a lot of pride in what they do in Portugal, and so we went there for corks of all things because that's where like almost all the corks come. Like that's like a national tree.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
I mean, like it's protected.
So you can find them everywhere?
There's cork trees all over, but they actually have like orchards for cork trees.
Okay.
And so it's a very big part of their economy because cork is used for more than just, bottled product. It's also used for flooring and soundproofing. Like in here, I mean, it's like cork is
Dartboards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's used.
Come
for,
on. What else is we need to play a game around of like products
your
that are made with
cork boards
cork.
where you put your little memos on
Yeah.
there.
It's so and so like it was that was a really cool experience seeing like the whole process of cork, what they're using it for, how they like utilize all the byproduct as well, like very efficient. And then when you're there in like Porto, where you get to taste, their fortified wines, their port, it was awesome. So very cool. Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Okay. Well, I'm going in 2030. I know that my wife's family has a tradition of going to every World Cup. And so we were
Nice.
just in Mexico.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, did Mexico City?
Yeah, we did the opening game. So Mexico versus South Africa.
Oh my God, that must have been insane.
It was so cool. We've done. Last time we didn't go to Qatar because my wife was pregnant with my 3-year-old, so I blame her. But my daughter. And then we did Russia, and so yeah, like since I've been part of their family, that's their thing, and so like it's my father-in-law's thing, and he kind of brings the kids, and then he has to bring the in-laws too, so like by default we get to go. So yeah, that's fun, and we're already talking about like doing like a game, and because I guess it's Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so we're doing like at least one game in each of those countries in 2030. Yeah,
That's so cool.
So I've never been to a World Cup, but like the ones in Mexico City with this last run of World Cup games, like those look like that's where you want to be.
Yes, I mean especially on game one. I mean it was just. I mean it's the fan experience. They don't let you. I mean, no matter no vehicles can like enter within 1.5 miles of like the Estadio Azteca or the stadium. But so you walk 1.5 miles, but there was the government purposely put stages like every 300 feet. So there was like a mariachi stage, and then like you took another 300 feet, and then there was like the baile folclórico. Then you did another 300 steps. Like there was the like the Day of the Dead, the Katrinas, the skulls, the skulls and
so
stuff.
They brought their culture.
So, and so you were walking, and like it became such a cool immersive experience, and like you literally like walk through like Mexican culture as you were going into the stadium, where you were like, oh, we would just walk for 40 minutes. Like it didn't even feel like that.
That's awesome.
So they did a really good job at hosting, and yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome. Well, should we introduce like our generous, amazing guest here today?
Yeah. Well, welcome to Go With Your Palate. Thank you for joining us. So we have, I guess I'd say, a local legend in radio.
Yep. Yeah. Here.
So we got a local legend and radio stations that we both grew up with. So KVYN and KVON, which you now called MegaMix, right?
Yes, exactly.
So okay, and you're running both of those, and so really excited to hear about the whole.
Yeah.
Taking over, building up and bringing kind of, I guess, I mean, not just a form of media, but kind of like something that's been in our culture for so long, like, keeping it as relevant as you have. So, yeah, Will, welcome.
Well,
thank you for being here.
I'm happy, excited to be here. Yes, thank you. Wind Down Media, my wife Julissa and I started Wind Down Media in 2017. And under under Wind Down, we acquired the 2 Napa Valley radio stations, which at the time were KVON, as you mentioned, which was just news, talk, and local sports. And then the Vine, or KVYN, the Vine, which is news, has always been music, entertainment, news. And we knew that they were both so important into Napa Valley life. I mean, through floods, which predate us because we moved here in 2017. But I know that Napa had an issue with flooding, and I know that there's a lot of people that are very proud of the great work that went into making the flood project happen. And now that's no longer a problem. It's just something that lives in people's memory. But I mean, yeah, the radio stations had been with the Napa Valley through the good times and the bad times, the ups and the downs, and so we were just like super excited to move them into the newest form of audio consumption, but at the same time to keep a piece of Napa history and Napa culture, as you said, alive. And so so the Vine has its format has it's seen different formats over the years. We call it like a variety blend. So, I mean, it plays everything. I mean, you'll catch Taylor Swift to like just an up and coming artist. We even do, my favorite thing about the Vine is the local love at noon. So we play 3 local artists at the 12 o'clock hour, at the beginning of the 12 o'clock hour, every day, Monday through Friday. And KVON, it was when we acquired it, news, talk, and local sports. And the big wildfires happened in 2017, and we were getting bombarded with calls from a lot of people in our Spanish speakers, and they were just like, "Hey, what's happening? We don't really know what's happening." I think Nixle notifications weren't in Spanish at the time, at the very beginning, and so like people really had, like the monolingual community had very little knowledge of what was happening, and so that was the first thing that we noticed, and then. Then the public safety power shutoffs that PG&E started like doing, and people were like, "Hey, I paid my PG&E bill." We're like, "Then call PG&E." And like, I mean, we love that people turn to us at first, and ask us like, "Hey, what's happening?" And we're like, "Well, there's a public safety power shutoff." And they're like, "What is that?" We're like, "Well, it's not because you didn't pay your bill. It's because there's high winds coming and this and that." I think that got better, and then COVID happened, right? And then there was so much disinformation, misinformation, and that was really when we just said, you know what, we have to flip the format of KVON to a Spanish-speaking radio station, and so that's when MegaMix was born.
So like the Vine, KVYN, this is the Spanish form of that kind of structurally as well?
Exactly, yeah. So news, information, music, and entertainment.
Yeah.
And obviously, we did have there was a lot of concern because KVON had always been like just news essentially. And like for fires and emergencies, like, everybody was always just so used to tuning into KVON. But we made the commitment that whenever the next disaster does happen, because unfortunately, there will be another one. We just don't know in what form, right? We will, stop the music. We will stop the commercials if needed, and we will just go into like real time, factual information reporting in both English and Spanish now. And now people will know because during the 2017 fires, we were doing like bilingual we were trying to figure it out. There was bilingual programming on both stations at some times, and now it's just like people know that if you want Spanish information, you go to KVON. If you want English information, you go to the Vine.
I just can't believe that wasn't already happening in a place like Napa, which we do have a lot of Spanish speakers, and that is their only language.
About 40% of the population, right? Yes.
And so the fact that we didn't have any media, because it's not just radio, right? Which is probably the quickest and best access for your most up to date information. But even newspapers, there's not a newspaper in Napa Valley that is all in Spanish.
Right.
To have that portion of our population that just didn't have access to that, especially during the fires, the earthquake going back in like, whatever that was, 15 years ago, like, so people were calling you being like, "Hey, we're trying to understand what's going on," like, and they're speaking Spanish to you, and they're just looking for info, and that was like, that's when it clicked.
I remember, I mean, it became like essentially like a phone bank, our radio stations during the 17 fires for like 18 days, and I remember picking up a call because someone transferred it to me because they're like, "Oh, they're speaking Spanish," and they're like, "My neighbors are leaving, their stuff is packed, and I don't know what's happening."
Jeez.
Like day 2. I mean, I get goosebumps, I get kind of like emotional about it because I was like, holy, like there's a gap and there's such a need for this. I mean, if it's day 2 into this, disaster, and they kind of knew, obviously, I'm not to say that they were, but they didn't really know where they were, what direction they were heading, the fires and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you, man.
I'm glad you were there to answer the call.
Yeah.
I mean, and then kind of see,
not just
see
being
that
there for the community, but also seeing
the
I wouldn't even call it an opportunity. I'd say like the miss that we had in the community, which that's awesome.
Yeah, the void essentially.
Yeah,
and we filled it.
Yeah,
or we're trying to do our best in filling it.
And do you do a mix of music as well on that, or do you try to stick with?
No, we and Julissa
you'll go Shakira to Banda.
Like, Banda, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly, just like that, and
just like that,
yeah, just like that, like from one song to another, and that's something that like the broadcast radio industry like kind of still frowns upon. Because they're like, well, like there's banda stations, there's, classic, like there's old music formats, like there's formats, right? But I mean, we see that, like we just cross all genres from one song to another.
Yeah.
And I mean, people love it.
That's how I prefer it too. So it's, and you think of like where is the radio just always on, right? I mean, I used to have a lot more windshield time, so I always had the radio on. But now you like go into a garage, right? Getting your smog checked, like, or oil changed. You're going to just, somebody's got the radio on. And it's just background, like, for most people to understand. But like, then you're like, you pay attention to, you're like, oh yeah, this is actually like, there's thought that goes into this, and just kind of, it creates a vibe and adds information. I think that's awesome.
I just heard your crew bumping up some music, over there. That was it was fun. Yeah.
Were they on MegaMix?
I didn't know exactly, so I walked away before I found out. Before I went over and screamed at them in Spanish.
Well, I would love to jump into also some origin story about how you got to where you are today too, and like. But before we do, I kind of wanted to do these like little icebreaker round because I feel like it's going to get interesting. So if Joe, if you,
you could start.
Okay, I will.
The first one is kind of offensive.
No, we just find out. It like puts it on the spot. All right, radio or podcast?
I mean, can a man have both? Is what I would, like say that.
I like this.
Obviously, AM and FM it's my passion. It's my day job. Podcast, everything has a time and a place. We drive down. My wife and I drive down LA way more than I ever expected, than I really ever want. Big families require us to like, and then that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, the Latino guilt too. Like, I'll talk to my mom, and my mom will be like, "Oh, we're doing a dinner for your 94 at this point, 94-year-old grandma." And I'm like, "Oh, but it's a dinner. Like, I live 7." And she's like, "It's just 7 hours." And I'm like, "Easy for you to say, because you're not the one driving."
With all these kids.
And now I have, and nothing changed. So when we first moved here, it was just like Julissa and I and our dog. And then, okay, I get it. People were like, "Oh, come on, you guys are young. You just jump in the car or, get a flight. You're here." And now it's like, then we had one daughter, and then they're like, "Well, it's still just the three of you. And the rest of your family's here." And now even with adding 2 kids. I just had twins in April, or my wife and I just had twins in April, and like nothing changed. I'm like, and now they're like, "Well, it's still just 5 of you, like, just get over here." And so, like for a long commute, to kind of circle back, like to long commute, like, podcast, there's definitely like some of my favorites that I like, some that my wife really doesn't like. So then, like, if she's in the back with the kids, like, I put on my guilty pleasure podcast, which, it's pretty bad. But
wait, what is it?
What is it?
On,
it's just like, it's 2020, so it's always like, nestled 40 miles north of San Francisco lays Rutherford, and it always starts like, it always paints the same picture, like, and the perfect couple, money, good looks, good health, until one day. And then they showed like the 911 call, and it's like, "Hey, my wife, she's not breathing. I just got home from the gym." And like, and then you find out it's the husband, and it's like always the same thing. But I'm just like, but I just,
you just get absorbed in them.
Yeah. Oh my, I mean, the crime docs, I go through these like phases, and right now, like we're in the phase, my fiance and I, and it's just like any crime doc or whatever we get like sucked into. There's like this new one out on Netflix. I don't know if you want to get the exact name, Art, but it's like a toxic relationship. And it's about this like relationship between this U.S. Marshal and his girlfriend, and it is so wild. I don't want to like give spoiler alerts, but it's basically like involves framing. Oh my god, it's good. But dude, your voice though on that, I was like sucked in.
Oh yeah, see, and I
you
just
like
have you ever thought about starting a podcast about crime?
Podcast.
No, thank you.
That was it. Like crime.
I don't even like being behind the mic. I honestly like this. And I don't, it still makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, even though I see, I've never done a shift on the radio station or anything. Like, I'm happy in the being like Art in the back over there producing and like checking audio levels. I mean, I know the amount of work that goes behind the scenes, and I prefer that than like just being in front of the mic.
Okay. Well, I like it. Okay. Music wise, first concert you ever attended?
Oh, actually full circle. I just went to go see No Doubt yet again. So for No Doubt,
Too bad Chad's not here.
Chad, dude, Chad's missing today. He's Art's partner in crime there on our tech side, our masterminds there, and
he just went to Vegas to see
to see them at the Sphere.
Yeah. So
well, I just saw them at the Sphere, but the very first time that wasn't. Yeah, it was. I think I was like in 7th grade. It was the Tragic Kingdom album. It was at the. They changed the name of it now. Like the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim was the name back then. I think it's the Honda Center now. But and my sister took me for like my however old you are when you're in 7th grade. And I remember being so upset because this band named Weezer comes on first, and I was like, you know, this.
If you want to destroy
but I was so pissed because I was like, you told me this was a No Doubt concert. And she's like, they're the opening band. Like, I had no idea, like, no concept of how the flow of a concert. She's like, they're the openers. And I was like, I want No Doubt. I remember being so upset. And then finally No Doubt came on. But yeah, and like I said, just saw them at the Sphere. Have you guys seen a show at the Sphere?
I have
never been to the Sphere.
It is
like I've heard good things. Yeah,
it takes you to a different dimension. It immerses you into the concert. I mean, I can only talk about No Doubt. Craziest thing. I know that at one point, like they're taking you through like these orange orchards, and like you know, there's screens above you and everything, and there's like oranges falling, and then I was like telling my wife like, "Whoa, this looks so real." And then, like, an orange hits her on the head. And I'm like, hold on, they are real. So they had, like, these little spongy oranges that had the No Doubt logo. It is the coolest thing. I mean, I don't know if the other shows incorporate things like that.
They were just dropping them from the ceiling?
There was oranges on the screens, but then there was real oranges, like little spongy oranges falling. But I just remember, I think I even have the video where I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I was in my normal state of mind, you know? I was like, it looks so real. And then, like, one hits my wife on the head, and, like, I was like, oh, they are real. Yeah. It's so cool.
So you don't want to be on mushrooms there.
That's what I was going to ask. I was like, I feel like they're giving you that effect.
They bring it from just the visual to, like, oh, dude, that didn't... Really? What the...
Yeah, there's like, there's actual oranges falling,
Okay, well, I got one last one for you, okay? One Napa business everyone should know about.
Ooh, well, you know, I like gifts, so in order to answer that, I'm going to dig in through here, and I brought you something from there that exploded. Oh, that's even better. Look at that. You couldn't have planned this.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to pick from a bag.
That's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. I've eaten from a bag before.
Okay.
I like this.
Oh, shit. This is... I'm doing this blind?
Yeah.
Hey, Will, I trust you, okay?
Yeah, you got some on your hand, too. Okay,
just,
this is... Wait, so this is hot sauce out of a bag?
Yes, but it's not supposed...
Shoot.
It wasn't a container. What do you taste?
Okay.
Joe, you like spice, right? I should have warned you that it's
I like
extremely
spice,
spicy.
Oh, no, I'm allergic to chilies.
Medic! Camera roll stop.
We'll be back after these messages.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna guess the pepper is habanero.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm gonna guess you got some fruit in there. I think, is it mango or papaya?
You probably know better than me. Yeah, really?
I feel like there is
like a little touch of sweetness in there. From fruit, not from like sugar.
Yeah, from fruit. Like that's really good.
That's really good.
All I know is that it's fire roasted habanero sauce from Yak and Yeti. Have you guys been there?
I've not been to Yak and Yeti.
Yeah, it's on. It's speaking of Lawler's, it's just like less than half a mile north of Lawler's. It's a Himalayan restaurant.
What?
And I
love Himalayan food.
Oh, it is amazing.
Oh my god! I'm so glad we're talking
half a
about
mile
this right
north
now.
Of Lawler's. Yeah, it's on Jefferson before you hit Trout.
Like further past the high school even.
A little further, yeah.
Okay.
Yak and Yeti.
Yes.
Like by the bike shop or some shit?
Where there's like the McDonald's.
Yeah.
In that same shopping center as the McDonald's.
Okay.
Like on the north end. Next to like Mother's Tacos.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like literally it like shares a wall with Mother's Tacos.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to hit... So I would not have guessed that that's a Himalayan hot sauce.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So what do you get there at Yak and Yeti?
So I love their chicken 65.
Okay.
Highest level of spice. And the garlic cilantro naan.
Okay.
Yeah.
What level is this?
You know what? I've never asked them. I just always ask them for like hot sauce.
Yeah.
And so, like yesterday I went to dinner there and I was just like, I need to take Joe some. I had a much larger canister that's now all over the bag.
It's already-
but yeah,
Oh, dude,
I think the
yeah.
bottle must have crushed it. But
I'm just gonna have to go.
yeah, exactly.
So Yak and Yeti, casual
Yak and
place.
Yeti.
That's your one go-to. You got to know this spot if you're a local in Napa.
Absolutely. Yes.
Hell yeah. Here.
Yeah.
I happen to have some napkins
Oh,
on me.
there you go.
Look
Okay.
at that for you.
Thank you.
So I got to
Have
ask,
at
do they have a wine list?
Yeah.
Even just like a handful of options.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That spice is really good.
Okay, do you like that spice? Okay,
Yeah,
so
because it's not
see,
like
he's-
it's just even. It's like nice, long. It's not bitey. Like that's good.
I didn't expect. I was actually hoping that you would be suffering a little bit more.
Sweating?
So I'm a little like,
Yeah.
So
we
because
did-
you're a white boy, you know.
So we used to have
Okay.
not even competitions. He couldn't keep up, but like I would just.
shut up, dude.
I loved hot sauce. I would just put hot sauce on cheese,
Okay.
Yeah.
and there it is.
Oh heck yeah,
Yak and Yeti
love it.
with some samosas.
Yeah, he would do.
and
he would
dumplings.
put hot sauce on ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you are okay. Yeah.
I love hot sauce. I lived in Mexico for a while, and
Okay. What part?
Hermosillo, like northern Mexico,
Okay, cool.
in the Sonora Desert.
Okay.
They don't have the spice profiles like southern Mexico does. Like when you get down into the more tropical areas, that's
Yeah.
where like you really get some good heat.
Okay.
But they, it's more like there's a lot more roasting of peppers up there. But they have this thing called chiltepin,
Okay.
and there are these like they're generally grown and harvested in the wild in the Sonoran Desert, and they're these little round berries of peppers, and
Okay.
they let them dry in the desert on the actual bush, and people go out there, collect them, and just sell them in like whatever like a leftover Nescafe jar.
Okay.
And then they sell these little grinders, and so you put one in, like just these wood grinder, and it's got a little hole in the top, and you put one little chili pepper in, and you grind it, and I'm not kidding, like a pinch of that shit in a soup makes it like it's great spice, but like you can overdo it real quick.
Yeah.
But I just rarely ever see chiltepin here in
I'm gonna
Chiltepin.
write that down.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
buy it on Amazon though.
Okay.
Just like you can find machaca on Amazon. Like
Yeah.
shit I can't find in the Mexican markets here. Find it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I was telling you, he did the one chip too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I did that. My brother-in-law was
you
like,
did?
"Oh, you love spicy so much," and like I had the chip, and I'm like, "All right." And then maybe like a minute later, I'm like, "Okay, I need some water." My eyes are watering, but I can still tolerate it, and yeah, I mean, my eyes watered, but that's normal.
Yeah,
That's just a bodily reaction.
It wasn't my favorite, but I will say the worst that I've ever done was the devil's toe.
I never even heard of
It's
that.
a lollipop. You can still buy them online.
Okay.
And I thought like, oh, cool. Like my kids were into doing these like competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
They were the ones that like brought the one chip challenge in, and so I'm looking at it. I didn't even look at like Scoville units or anything like that. I'm just like looking at it like just a lollipop. Like I'll put it in my mouth for a little bit and see how it goes. I didn't even last 30 seconds, and then it was hours, like 2 or 3 hours. Like all of my insides were like on fire. And I was like, okay, this was too far. Like, that was the
Yeah.
only time I was just like, this is too far.
Okay.
But, yeah, so if you ever want to get was it your brother or brother-in-law?
Brother-in-law.
Yeah, if you ever want to fuck with him,
Okay.
get the devil's toe and be like, hey, yeah, you remember that one chip
Freddie, I'm
challenge?
coming for you, bro.
Freddie,
Devil's
you're
toe.
donezo, buddy.
That is
it,
a
it just
threat.
takes one lick.
One lick?
I bet you one lick is more than enough to burn your pants off, man. It was.
Oh.
I've never experienced anything that hot in my life.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
devil's
you
toe.
might see it come in the studio. Special delivery.
Well, that was a great question though, because even I learned something new, and that's
Yeah.
one of the beauties of Napa right now, is you are seeing so much diversity in cuisine, and I keep bringing this up because we have a brand that kind of coincides with it. We call it Westhoff Pioneers. There you go. They're calling it Toe of Satan now.
Oh,
That doesn't
toe
look
of
like a
Satan?
toe, Art.
It's the
Yeah.
devil Satan.
It looks like a fingernail.
Can you survive 5 minutes?
Oh.
900
900 times hotter than a jalapeno.
It's horrible.
yeah.
I think
Whoa.
that was it. The one I had looked different, but
Okay.
So we have a brand we call Westhoff Pioneers, and it's kind of a story of like my family's immigration to America and how they kind of made their way, and trying to honor kind of those people that had like the wherewithal and the drive to come to the U.S. like a foreign country and try their best to make it here, and then along with it they brought their culture.
Right.
And we're seeing the same thing right now in the Hispanic community, predominantly Mexican. And so, I think that like I think when I was younger, you could tell there was still like a little bit of that racial angst. I feel like that's really starting to subside. Like they've been absorbed and part of, an appreciated part of American culture, especially when you come into like California, Arizona, like any states that kind of border more of like the southern border. But along with that, what we see is all these other generations or all these other cultures that have been coming in for, recently all the way through to couple hundred years ago, and what they bring, and finally seeing Napa actually like have these options. It's great. So a Himalayan food.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even like Mexican food. When we have somebody from the East Coast out here, like any of our distributors, we'll do just like the most authentic Mexican food.
That'll blow their minds.
And they're just like they can't believe it. And it's like they don't have any options. In like New York, they're like, you're going to get...
Oh my God, Mexican food in New York is so bad. I used to go to New York for work all the time when I was in my corporate media career at Univison or Univision.
Yeah.
And I would always ask like my coworkers, and like they're like, well, we can take you to a good Dominican or a good Puerto Rican restaurant. And I'm like, no, Mexican. They're like, oh, there's that one place. And they're like, they're that one place. And I would go and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Like making quesadillas with Velveeta.
Yeah. Crab cheese in the middle of like a tortilla. Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah.
I remember when I was there, like, and this several years ago, but still, like, and I was asking for Mexican food, I'd get pointed towards Chipotle.
Oh,
and I'd
yeah,
be like,
exactly.
No, dude.
Yeah.
This is not Mexican food. I mean,
well, we also grew up with La Luna, like, down the street from us, so we had like, a pretty legit taqueria.
Yes.
That was...
people always get crazy over La Luna because they do the thick, THICC quesadillas.
Yeah, I have always talked about them. Best quesadillas in the world by a long shot.
I've never had a quesadilla there. I will try it.
Just try it and throw some meat in it. You can do like carne asada, al pastor, but I mean, I think it's carne asada or carnitas. Those are the best. But yeah.
So I love though. Thanks for the hot sauce. I like the little
tangent
and stuff like that. But
my mouth is still watering from it. That's a good hot sauce.
I know. I kind of want more.
But no,
lick the bag.
I know, lick the bag.
You kind of touched on part of your origins and getting into media. But let's go back to the origin story. Like, how did you get into this realm of media? Was there inspiration when you were younger?
So I mean, being in LA, right, and like just being a product of your environment, and like a lot of my friends just naturally went into media, different sources. I had some that went into the news, up the news route. Some went into acting, others. Just being in LA, like, you always just saw media. There was always like the big four that we used to always talk about in our corporate media, so like ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. Like they were always having like at career fairs in my college. So I went to school. I did my I went to undergrad in LA as well to stay close to family because that's always been important. And so I stayed close by. And so they were always trying to like recruit people. And so just I kind of just went into that. I did try banking. I kind of tried to go rogue for a second, and like I went into marketing on the banking side, and I'm like, and then I was like having my other friends that were like, oh yeah, we're just like hanging out with some clients on a yacht, because they just gave us like, $20 million for their annual budget, their advertising budget. And like, here I am sitting in a cubicle, and like, I'm like,
trying to sell
how do I make like 1.25 jumbo CDs, $100,000 or more, sexy or cool? And I was like, I'm out. I need to get out of here. And so, and it was also right at that, during the big recession. So it was tough. But I'm happy to say that, yeah, I was like, I think or at least that's what they claim, that I was like the first hire after their hiring freeze got lifted at Univison. And so I worked my way in from a sales assistant. And just kind of worked my way up. And then when I left there, I was working on I was working in distribution. So there was a pop-up, a startup called Netflix at the time. This is like 2011, and they needed content. They needed Spanish language content, and Univison didn't really have a team in place at the time to to make those deals. And so they kind of morphed a team, and then they grabbed other people, and they just, I mean, we grew into like this really big team. And like a lot of the times I remember just kind of being part of the team, and we were like, what are we doing? And we're like, we don't know, but because like, we're essentially selling the future of streaming, which, I mean, we were talking about this in 2011, but I mean, they say that streaming didn't really take off the biggest, even though we probably have been early adopters of like Netflix and stuff until COVID. That's when like the biggest shift in consumption per like media reports is like, that's when like they saw their biggest numbers jump.
Okay.
When people were home, and internet speeds were more reliable. People needed better internet speeds because they were working from home and things like that. So really, like we were like working on these deals like way before, and people in our own company were like, "What do you guys do again?" We're like, well, we don't really kind of know, but I mean, like, we're bringing in a lot of unforecasted money. And so that was really fun.
And so Univison was like a contracted, like your team was contracted by Netflix.
Like we were providing content for them.
For Netflix,
But that was one of the things that like Univision's like a typical soap opera or a telenovela is like 200 episodes, right? And they were like, at least they end, because like isn't like General Hospital still going on for like
good point.
40 years later or whatever, right? And so like at least they end. And the funny thing with telenovelas is like I'll go visit my mom in LA, and like she'll be watching that same one, and I'm like, I'll like kind of glance, and I'm like, hey, wasn't that guy dead? She's like, well, he was dead, but then like, he wasn't really dead. Like then they found out like 25 episodes later that he was still alive when they were burying him, but we didn't know that.
I know.
So like all these characters just kind of come back to life and things like that.
Get away with anything.
Yeah,
one of those.
but Netflix was like, oh well, we only need like X amount of episodes, like, and so they learned, or our team learned, like that, like you can like get rid of like so much in the middle, and the storyline doesn't really change much.
Oh my God.
To fulfill the essentially the request that, and that's just the name, but obviously like Sony was another client, Amazon, like just all these people that wanted Spanish language content.
Wow.
So like I was part of the team that was right at the forefront of that, which was really cool.
Okay, that is really cool.
Yeah.
And so Univison was like, I didn't realize that. So Univison was really kind of the hub to go to on where these other companies would get content.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, the biggest players in the industry are, in terms of Spanish language are Telemundo and Univison, right?
Yeah.
And the people still to this day, like even Friends, like that's offensive because they're like, oh, when you were at Telemundo, I was like, it's 1 out of 2. I'm like, come on, there's 2 big Spanish players. And like you get it wrong. Like, like, do you miss your days at Telemundo? And I'm like, bro, come on. And then they see my face and they're like, it's the other one. Univison, yeah. But I learned a lot. I met my wife there. And so we were talking to our mentor, and he told us, he like small entrepreneurship had always kind of been part of my grandmother, who I admire to this day. And she came to this country with nothing and built something for herself, and so always very entrepreneurial. So I've always wanted to do that. I mean, I've been hustling, like making lemonade and just kind of trying to find a dollar since I was a kid. And so, we found this opportunity of the 2 Napa Valley radio stations, and Julissa and I, yeah, we were just like, all right, we're quitting our corporate jobs. We're following our dream. Like, we filled up our U-Haul with our dreams and our junk. Came up with Honey, our dog.
Coming from New York?
L.A.
L.A. by this point.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in New York, but I was always based out of L.A., out of the L.A. office.
And had you been to Napa Valley prior to?
So, speaking of La Luna, crazy small world. My sister-in-law went to college at Loyola, which is also where I went, Loyola Marymount. But I like to remind them that they're a lot older than me, so we weren't in school at the same time.
Yeah.
But my sister-in-law, Liz, and Christina DeLuna, who owns the DeLuna Market, they went to school at LMU together.
Okay.
So I remember Christina DeLuna in year one of Bottle Rock was like, hey, do you guys want to come up to my hometown? They're doing this festival.
Oh, no.
It's on Groupon for like 2 for 1. And it was like, it was like, you know, like
year.
It was like $99 for 4 days. We're like, what? That's like crazy, like something crazy, right? And so we ended up coming up. That was my first time up here, but my wife grew up coming up with her sister and Christina coming to they talk about that all the time. Winter Wineland, I think they do in Sonoma County.
Okay.
Like during like MLK weekend, like sometime in January, they do like a Winter Wineland, and Christina DeLuna is like really big on that. And so, yeah, so I mean, like Christina DeLuna is kind of part of my wife's family. And then when we came up here, they kind of returned the favor, and the DeLunas kind of like adopted my wife and I because we knew literally no one else. We had no friends or family here, and they became our family. They kind of adopted us into their family. And so, yeah, we were there at I think some of the like extended family were like, who the hell are these guys? Like, why are they all of a sudden showing up at Easter and, you know, Cinco de Mayo parties? But yeah, so very.
It's a big family. Like, you know, he's like the cousin of, you know, whatever.
Yeah, so and so. And they're like, oh, sure, whatever, yeah.
You met him before, don't worry about it.
Exactly, yeah. So that was kind of our tie-in back to Napa. I mean, that was that's when I had only been to Bottle Rock. So I came up to several Bottle Rocks before I moved up here. And I mean, you could have asked me like the year before we made the final decision to like move up here, like, oh, you know, like, do you want to move to Napa one day? And I'm like, it's cool, it's beautiful, but it's so small. Like, so I'm boring. Such a like, there's no homeless people. It doesn't smell like pee enough. I'm like, there's no graffiti. There's not enough graffiti. I'm like, I don't know. I'm an LA guy, man. And
if you're looking for that, I mean, San Francisco's really killing it.
They're crushing it.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
I mean, we got a smaller version of it too, right here in Vallejo.
Yeah. We're getting the overflow. So
yeah, but I mean, I loved it. I've loved it. I love it. You know, it's 8 years in already and counting. My daughter's a very proud Napa girl now that she's 3. And my daughters were my most recent twin daughters are born up here, and so yeah, I mean, I've been part of like 6 different nonprofit boards over the 8 years. My wife's been part of several. So we're definitely like deep roots into the Napa Valley community.
Absolutely. Wow. And I mean, I'd love to hear a little bit about the entrepreneurial spirit that you guys, I mean, you know, when did the opportunity arise that these 2 stations were available? Was it an offer that came from you, or was it something that you had already heard about and you were weighing out that option with your corporate jobs that you and your wife had? Like, what was that whole scenario like?
Is this really the end? Unbelievable. Find out next week.